Hello, good afternoon to my listeners, friends and family. This is Wakar Ahmed. Welcome to my first podcast interview. I'm delighted to be here in Piccadilly, Manchester with Professor Andrei Zvelindovsky from the University of Lincoln. Andrei is the founding head of School of Mathematics and Physics. Good afternoon, Andrei.
Good afternoon, Wakar.
This is an exciting year for you with your new role as head of mathematics and physics. Tell us about your hopes and expectations for the new school.
Thank you. Last year was preparatory year for our school, where we prepared all our programs, we validated them, we received accreditation from Institute of Mathematics and its applications. This September we have our first students coming to Lincoln to study mathematics and physics. Our hopes that we get a nice cohort of students who will enjoy these two variation subjects and be prepared with help of our programs for their future employment.
Okay, how did you arrive at your current position? Tell us about your background and your experiences and how you ended up in Lincoln University.
Position which I hold in Lincoln as founding head of school was not something I was foreseen years ago. I originally come from country Ukraine, from city of Odessa, where I got my doctorate and previous education. I then moved to Netherlands and spent in Low Countries 8 years, and after that I moved to University of Central Lancashire in Preston in 2004, where I was for 10 years, starting a senior lecturer, moving up to professor. Then position open in Lincoln. The vision of University of Lincoln coincided with how I see a department or school of mathematics and physics. And we took a bold step and moved with whole my group, and now we are already reasonable size school, looking forward for further developments.
So how do you see your school developing over the next decade?
In a decade or so, our school should become one of the largest centers of materials, in particular soft matter modeling in UK. It will be not the largest, of course, but we should occupy very noticeable place in the UK horizon. We should have 15 academic staff in modeling by 2020, and that will be our kind of main themes of research in the school. We also will have several academics in pure mathematics, in particular in the field of algebra and group theory. And we see that also have a distinct feature of our education in Lincoln, combining one of purest part of mathematics with very applied mathematics and physics, such as material science. So it's kind of a mixture of two things in one place, in a city which becoming increasingly university city of Lincoln.
Over the last few decades, there's been cuts in physics and chemistry and biology and mathematics. They've all suffered by departments shutting down. I think it was a big mistake. How important do you think mathematics and sciences are to the population in the UK and its economy and future prosperity?
Indeed, this, as I said, two of most ancient sciences, mathematics and physics. We should also mention medicine was also quite long together with us, but mathematics and physics are so-called exact sciences, and as such they are oldest. They underline all developments of our civilization, all development of our technology in any single aspect of our life, from everyday's life to rocket science, from spaceships till brewing coffee. we all need science, and physics and mathematics is foundation of that. Indeed, for quite a few years, were reduction in interest in such things like physics, and that was, I think, decremental indeed for Europe and for United Kingdom in particular. Luckily, in most recent developments, we see that the interest comes back, and also government put set of measures to increase the so-called STEM subjects in UK. And that will be very important for all aspects of life in UK, in particular for industry, for technology, for high-tech industry. This is where UK can compete with the rest of the world, and physics and math is a cornerstone of that development.
Tell us something about the exciting new courses that you've got lined up for your school.
We have developed several programs in our school, and those are programs in mathematics on bachelor and integrated master level, programs in physics also on bachelor and integrated master, joint awards for mathematics and physics, and also joint programs mathematics and computer science. All these programs has very strong research component, which included in our degrees from year 1 up to year 4, and that I would say somewhat distinct feature, not to be found in many other places in UK. Plus, our degrees also have a focus on applied research and industrial components of that. Nonetheless, for students who want to do only pure mathematical research, we're very happy to host academics who are world-class leaders in their respective fields.
I know about your research in soft matter and nanotechnology. Could you elaborate on it for our listeners, please?
Indeed, the field of research I'm doing myself nowadays called soft matter. Then I started as a PhD student back in the 80s with my supervisor. We did not even have name like that for that. We just were doing something what we like it, and later we realized that became a very popular field of modern research in physics and math. And that is soft matter, basically things which most often could be found in our really everyday life. We eat our breakfast, we consume various foods, and those are rather complex substances, and many of those require very elaborate industrial procedures, like yogurts and various creams and so on. It's not only about foods, it comes also to our energy, so various chemical industries, simple oil also form part of soft matter, but also we as humans, our bodies, also basically soft matter. So a new and very exciting development in modern days called, for instance, nanomedicine, where new and kind of intelligent complex drugs being developed to treat people.
I've always been impressed with the quality of research going on within your group and the teaching that you do. With all this information available on the worldwide, how important is it to focus on quality instead of quantity?
Indeed, in math and physics, what is most important that you're able to solve problems, complex problems which we face in every field of our life. It is impossible, and with every day it's becoming increasingly impossible to know everything what was developed in physics and math, in particular the subject being developed every single day. However, what is possible to learn methods how you solve problems. These skills are quite specific and they've been developed with